Thank you so much indeed for joining us, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Amanpour.
Let me get straight down to brass tacks. There are many in Taiwan who worry that you are not pro-independence, that you have not said once after getting elected that Taiwan is about having an independent nation.
Well, the Republic of China on Taiwan has been an independent sovereign state for 99 years. There is no reason to declare independence twice.
Well, clearly, Mr. President, a lot of Taiwanese expect to hear it from you, or at least to hear a stronger explanation of why you don't say that. And there are many Taiwanese who say that they are concerned that you are perhaps compromising Taiwan's sovereignty in order to be in the good graces of China. How do you answer that to your people?
All these accusations are ungrounded. In the last 2 years, we have concluded 12 agreements with mainland China on cross-strait flights, food safety, opening Taiwan to mainland tourists, and mutual judicial assistance. In all these agreements, we not only built friendship, but solved many problems that were brought to Taiwan as a result of fast-growing trade and investment relations with the Chinese mainland. Mm-hmm. All these agreements contribute to prosperity and stability in Taiwan, and nothing in these agreements compromise Taiwan's sovereignty or autonomy.
Well, then how do you
And
explain...
all these agreements are open documents.
Well, I just wanted to say, if that's the case, how do you explain your rather low approval ratings? I mean, even after your latest debate, they're not up to even 40%. About 38%, according to polls, support you. Some 43% say they are dissatisfied. How do you explain that?
Well, our economy is recovering, but it has not recovered to the state before the financial tsunami resulted from the U.S. economy. So we're trying to do more. And this year, International Monetary Fund has forecast that we will have 6.5% growth in our GDP. So I'm sure when our economy becomes better, the situation will improve as a result.
One of those issues that you hope will show results, tangible results, is a new agreement that you hope to sign with China, ECFA. And yet, your people are saying that they don't understand it, and they think that that will make you too reliant on mainland China. How are you explaining it to them?
Well, the name of the agreement is Economic Cooperation Framework Agreement. This is actually has 3 parts: tariff reduction, investment guarantee, and protection of intellectual property rights. When I explain to people, people understand. Actually, after the Sunday debate with the opposition leader, the people who understand and support ECFA has increased much more than it was before. So I'm very confident that when we continue to explain what it is, in the future, people will support our policy. And this policy will be very beneficial to Taiwan, not only to increase exports, but attract more foreign direct investment from abroad.
Could I just, I want to put up a graphic, a quote of what the president of China, Hu Jintao, has said after your election. He called on China and Taiwan to, quote, build mutual trust, lay aside disputes, seek consensus, and shelve differences and create a win-win situation. Do you agree with that? And how will you do that beyond ECFA?
In addition to economic relations, we also want to promote cultural exchange with the mainland. For instance, we have already allowed hundreds of thousands of mainland tourists to Taiwan, and they will appreciate, actually, they do appreciate the way of life in Taiwan: freedom, democracy, and prosperity.
And so under what conditions would you agree to meet with the president of China?
I have no plans at the moment to meet with leaders from mainland China. I think the most important thing for Taiwan and for mainland China to do is to start with economic agreements, cultural exchange, educational exchange, to lay the groundwork for further relations. I think it is still premature for the top leaders of the two sides to meet at this moment.
So many have sort of floated the idea that perhaps you would accept an invitation to the APEC summit that's hosted by the United States next year. Apparently it's going to be in Hawaii. Would you accept such an invitation? Obviously at that place, so would the President of China be there.
This is a hypothetical situation proposed by an American scholar. We haven't got any information from the authorities of APEC on this issue.
But do you think that between now and then, if you were offered a formal invitation, and as you say, you would need more details about such an invitation, is it something that you would consider? Would you accept such an invitation to APEC?
As I said, this is really very hypothetical because in the past, we have been unable to send high-level representatives to this APEC meeting. I don't see any possibility in the near future that the situation will change.
Let me ask you about a future political situation, if you like. What is your view and your position on the possibility of one nation, two systems, for instance, as China and Hong Kong have? Would that work for China and Taiwan?
No, I don't think that is a good formula for Taiwan because Taiwan is very different from Hong Kong. Taiwan is a democracy. We elect our own president, our own national parliament, and we run our own business. We want to have a closer trade and investment relation with the mainland, but certainly we want to have our own way of life. So when I was inaugurated nearly 2 years ago, I have said very clearly that we will maintain the status quo, namely no unification, no independence, no use of force under the framework of our 1946 Constitution.
And as you know, many people around the world look at China, including here in the United States, and see a growing powerhouse, an economic powerhouse, a political powerhouse. Some are concerned about its growing military capabilities. Do you consider China to be a growing military threat, especially with its continued spending?
Well, mainland China has been a military threat to Taiwan for 60 years. The reason we decided to improve relations with mainland China is trying to reduce the tension across Taiwan Strait by means other than military. And as far as we were concerned, in the last 2 years, we have been able to ease that tension and make the region much more peaceful than it was before. So I think it's very important to ease the tension, to reduce the atmosphere of hostilities. But the way of doing that is not necessary to engage in arms race. I think we have other ways to reduce the tension, and we have done it, actually.